In the village of Kolori, people didn't disappear, they were simply never seen again. The village of Kolori was the kind of place where nothing ever felt out of place. It was quiet, remote, peaceful. The kind of place where people trusted each other without question. Mud houses lined the narrow paths. Children played near the river. Elders sat beneath large trees, telling the same old stories they had told for years. Life moved slowly there. Predictably. And in a village like that, people didn't believe in danger. At the edge of Kolori stood a small hut made of clay and wood. It didn't look important. No sign. No noise. But everyone knew who lived there. Zuberi Kaine, the painter. For years, Zuberi had been part of the village. Quiet. Respectful. Always working alone. He painted everything. Landscapes. People. Moments. And his paintings were different. Not better. Not more beautiful. Just strangely real. His work feels alive, one woman once said. Everyone laughed. But deep down, no one disagreed. Zuberi never sold his paintings outside the village. Never displayed them in markets. Instead, he kept them. All of them. Inside his heart. And that was the first strange thing. The second was that people who visited his hut often stopped visiting anyone else. At first, no one noticed. Villages forget small things easily. A traveler who stayed too long. A man who preferred silence. A woman who moved away. There was always an explanation. There always is. Until someone finally paid attention. Her name was Sade Kintara. She wasn't from Kolori. She had come weeks ago, documenting remote villages and their culture. Unlike the others, she noticed patterns. And the pattern was simple. People who visited Zuberi's hut didn't come back the same. Or didn't come back at all. Where is Nolo? She asked one afternoon. The villagers exchanged glances. He left, someone said casually. When? No one answered. That night, Sade stood outside Zuberi's hut. A faint light glowed from inside. Warm. Still. Too still. She stepped closer. The door was slightly open. And from inside, she heard something. Not a voice. Not footsteps. A soft, dragging sound. Like something moving slowly across the floor. Sade hesitated. Then pushed the door open. The smell hit her first. Paint. Thick. Heavy. Almost suffocating. The walls were covered. Dozens of paintings. People. Scenes. Faces. All staring at her. Her breath slowed. Something felt wrong. She stepped closer to one painting. A man standing near a tree. His expression. Frozen. Fear. Pure fear. Sade frowned. Why would someone pose like that? She leaned in. Closer. And then she noticed it. The man's eyes moved. Just slightly. Sade froze. Her heart skipped. No, she whispered. Then, very slowly, the man inside the painting blinked. And a tear rolled down his cheek. From inside the canvas, Sade stumbled back in horror. Behind her, a voice spoke. Calm. Quiet. You weren't supposed to notice that. Sade turned. Zuberi stood in the doorway, watching her, holding a brush, dripping with fresh paint. And behind him, the door slowly closed. On its own. Sade couldn't move. Her eyes were locked on the painting. The man inside it was breathing. "No," she whispered. "That's not possible." The tear on his cheek slid further down. Slow. Real. Then his lips trembled. "Help." The word didn't come out loud. But she heard it. Inside her head. Sade staggered back. "What is this?" Behind her, Zuberi stepped closer. "Come." Unbothered. "You see them," he said softly. Sade turned sharply. "They are alive." Zuberi tilted his head slightly. "They were." Her heart dropped. "What did you do to them?" she demanded. Zuberi didn't answer immediately. Instead, he walked toward the painting. Slowly. The man inside it started shaking now. His hands pressed against the inside of the canvas. Like he was trying to push through. "Please, get me out," the voice echoed again in Sade's mind. She rushed forward. "Wait, I can help." "Don't." Zuberi's voice stopped her instantly. Too late. Sade's fingers touched the canvas. And everything changed. A shock ran through her body. Cold. Violent. Her vision flickered. For a split second. She wasn't in the hut anymore. She was inside the painting. Standing where the man stood. She felt it. The air. Heavy. Thick. Like breathing through water. The silence. Suffocating. And the worst part. She couldn't move. Her body felt locked. Frozen in place. Her eyes darted around in panic. Other shapes surrounded her. Blurred. Faded. Other people. Watching. Trapped. Then suddenly. She was pulled back. Sade collapsed onto the floor, gasping. What was that?" she choked. Zuberi looked down at her. Almost impressed. "You felt it," he said quietly. Sade scrambled back. "You trapped them in there." Zuberi's expression didn't change. "I preserved them." The man inside the painting started screaming now. But no sound came out. Only silence. Endless silence. "Let him out," Sade shouted. Zuberi stepped closer to the canvas. And gently placed his hand on it. The man froze instantly. His face locked again. Back into position. Like nothing had happened. "Why?" Sade yelled. Zuberi turned to her. "For the same reason people paint sunsets," he said calmly. "To keep them forever." Sade's stomach twisted. "They are people." Zuberi's eyes darkened slightly. "Not anymore." Silence filled the room. Then Sade realized something worse. She slowly looked around. At the walls. Dozens of paintings. Hundreds of faces. Some calm. Some smiling. But some terrified. Frozen in their final moment. All watching her. All aware. All trapped. And deep down, Sade felt it. A horrifying truth. They weren't just looking at her. They were waiting. Sade tried to stand. Her legs trembled. "I'm leaving," she said quickly. Zuberi didn't move. "You can't." The words were soft. But absolute. Sade rushed toward the door. It didn't open. She pulled harder. Pushed. Nothing. "It was open before," she shouted. Zuberi's voice came from behind her. "It only opens when I allow it." Sade turned slowly. Fear rising. "What do you want from me?" Zuberi studied her. Long. Carefully. Like an artist observing a subject. You see things others don't, he said quietly. Sade shook her head. I don't want any part of this. Zuberi ignored that. Instead, he picked up his brush, dipped it into dark paint, and turned toward a blank canvas. Large. Empty. Waiting. Sade's breath caught. No. Zuberi began painting. Fast. Precise. His hand moved unnaturally smooth. Like he wasn't thinking. Like something else was guiding him. Sade stepped back. What are you doing? Zuberi didn't answer. But slowly, the shape on the canvas became clear. A figure. Standing. Familiar. Too familiar. Sade's chest tightened. No, stop. The face formed. Her face. Stop, she screamed. Suddenly, her body froze. Mid-step. She tried to move. Nothing. Her arm stuck in place. Her breathing slowed. Not by choice. What's happening to me? She cried. Zuberi finally spoke. Every painting needs stillness. Sade's eyes widened in horror. You're doing this. Don't fight it, he said calmly. It makes the details harder. Her fingers stiffened. Her neck locked. Her entire body becoming still. No, please, she whispered. Zuberi kept painting. Every brush stroke took something. Her movement gone. Her voice fading. Her control slipping. I'm not finished yet, Zuberi murmured. Sade's vision blurred. But she could still see the canvas. Her image becoming more real, more alive. And then she noticed something terrifying. The version of her inside the painting moved fast. Sade couldn't breathe. Not properly. Not fully. Her body stood frozen. But her mind was screaming. I can't move. Her lips barely parted. No sound came out. Across from her, the painting was complete. Her painting. And inside it, she was standing. Alive. Blinking. Aware. No, she thought. No, no, no. The version of her inside the canvas turned slowly and looked directly at her. Outside. Watching herself. The realization hit like a nightmare. I'm both. Her thoughts fractured. Half inside. Half outside. Zuberi stepped closer. Observing. Satisfied. Perfect, he whispered. Sade tried to scream. But her real body didn't respond. Only the version inside the painting reacted. Her painted self began pounding against the canvas. Let me out, she screamed. This time, she heard it. From inside. From within the painting. But outside. Silence. Zuberi watched calmly. They always react like this at first, he said. Sade's mind raced. Please, please don't do this. Zuberi tilted his head. Do what? Trap me. I didn't trap you, he interrupted softly. A pause. I completed you. Her painted self collapsed inside the canvas. Crying. No one will hear you, Zuberi continued. Time doesn't move the same way in there. Sade's heart pounded. What does that mean? Zuberi smiled faintly. For you, it will feel like forever. Her mind shattered. Forever. No, please. Zuberi turned away. Already losing interest. Walking toward another blank canvas. Another future victim. Another story. Behind him, Sade remained standing, silent. But inside the painting, she was still screaming, still begging, still alive. And worst of all, she could see everything. Every new person who entered, every new victim, every new painting added to the walls. And slowly, the other paintings around her began to move, turning toward her, smiling. Not with joy, but with the same broken realization. They were all still there, still aware, still trapped. Forever. At first, Sade thought she was alone. Just her. Her thoughts. Her fear. Endless silence inside the canvas. Then, a whisper. "You're new?" Sade froze. Her eyes darted around. Who said that? No answer. Only darkness behind the painted wall. Then again. Closer this time. Don't panic. Shapes began to form around her. Faint. Blurred. Other figures. Other people. Their outlines flickered. Like broken reflections. "You can see us now," a voice said. Sade's breath trembled. "Where are you?" Slowly. A man stepped forward from the darkness. His face was distorted. Not fully clear. Like unfinished paint. "I was like you once," he said. Sade stared at him. "You're inside another painting." He gave a weak smile. "No." A pause. "We are all inside the same one." Her heart dropped. "What does that mean?" The man gestured around. "This isn't just a painting," he said. "It's a space. A prison. A place where time doesn't end." Sade's chest tightened. "No, that's not possible." Another voice spoke. From behind her. "You've already felt it." She turned. A woman stood there. Crying. "I've been here for years," she whispered. Sade shook her head. "No. I just got here, it can't be years." The woman let out a hollow laugh. "That's what I said too." Sade's mind raced. There has to be a way out. Silence. Then. The man spoke again. "There is. Hope. Sharp. Immediate." "How?" Sade asked desperately. The man hesitated. Then pointed upward. At the surface of the canvas. "The moment he paints over you completely," he said slowly, "you disappear." Sade's breath stopped. "That's not escape," she whispered. The woman shook her head. "No. It's worse." A pause. "You don't leave. You just stop existing." Sade felt her entire body go cold. "No, there has to be something else." The man stepped closer. "There is one more way," he said quietly. Sade looked up. Desperate. "Tell me." The man's expression darkened. "You take someone else's place." Silence. Sade's heart skipped. "What?" "You push them out," he said. "And they become the painting." "And you?" He leaned closer. "You become real again." Sade stepped back. "That's insane, I'm not doing that." The woman's voice broke. "You will." Sade shook her head violently. "No." But deep inside, a terrifying thought had already begun to form. What if that was the only way? And just then, the world shook. The canvas trembled violently. Sade looked up in fear. "What's happening?" The man's face twisted. "He's painting again." The light above them shifted. Darkness spreading slowly, covering everything. erasing details. And Sade realized something horrifying. Zuberi wasn't finished with her yet. Zuberi's hand stopped midair. The brush trembled. For the first time, something felt wrong. He stared at the canvas. Sade's painting. Her eyes moved on their own, not reacting. Watching him. Zuberi frowned. That's not possible. The room darkened slightly. The shadows in the corners shifted. Then, a voice. Not from Sade. Not from any painting. Something deeper. You're slowing down. Zuberi froze. His grip tightened on the brush. I created this, he whispered. The voice laughed softly. No. A pause. You opened it. Zuberi's breath became uneven. For years, he thought he was the artist, the creator, the one in control. But now, for the first time, he felt it. Something else. Watching him. Through the paintings. Through the walls. Through everything. Inside the canvas. Sade felt it. The shift. Something had changed. The control is breaking, the man whispered. Sade looked up. The surface of the painting was cracking. Thin lines spreading across it. Light leaking through. A chance. This is it, she whispered. Without thinking. She ran. Toward the crack. Toward freedom. Behind her. Voices screamed. Wait. But she didn't stop. She reached the surface. And pushed. Hard. For a moment. Nothing happened. Then. Her hand broke through. Into the real world. She gasped. Air. Real air. Hope exploded inside her. Until. Something grabbed her ankle. She looked down. The others. Pulling her back. No, please. I just need. You can't leave alone, the man said. His grip tightened. No one does. Zuberi stepped back. Terrified. The paintings were moving. All of them. Cracking. Breaking. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Sade's hand burst through the canvas. Grabbing air. Reaching. Zuberi stumbled backward. This isn't how it works. The voice returned. Cold. Endless. It is now. Suddenly. Every painting in the room went still. Silent. Then. All at once. They turned toward Zuberi. Watching him. The same way they once watched others. His breath stopped. No. The brush fell from his hand. And for the first time, he understood. He was never the painter. He was just the next canvas. The walls shifted. The hut darkened. And something unseen stepped closer. The next morning, the village of Kolori was quiet again. The hut stood empty. Door open. Inside. Only one painting remained. A man. Standing still. Brush in hand. Eyes wide with fear. Trapped forever. And days later, a new traveler arrived. Curious. Unaware. And somewhere deep inside the canvas, Sade was still there. Watching. Waiting. For someone else. To take her place. If this story gave you chills, you're not ready for what's coming next. Hit subscribe right now, because the next story is even darker.